When you talk about Jamaica, you'll never cease to mention the word Maroon. Maroon are a community found in Jamaica. Okay, first of all, before we enter into this deep conversation of the Maroon from Jamaica, please, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. And if you are a new subscriber, please don't forget to subscribe on this subscription button. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for the love. You know, I'll be out here giving you good content, and a lot more is coming. Thank you so much. Let's go into the history of Maroon on Jamaica. You know, a lot of people are saying that Maroon is a forgotten tribe or forgotten community in Jamaica, but I tend to understand that Maroon community is still there up to now. So, who are the Maroon? In the previous video that I did, that the history of Jamaica, where Jamaica came from, this video, if you haven't watched the video, watch it here. I told you that when Jamaica started with the Tainos, you know, the Tainos were in Jamaica. Now, Christopher Columbus claimed that he discovered Jamaica in 1494. And which, you know, how can you discover Jamaica and Tainos were already there? After Columbus discovered Jamaica, the Spanish invaded Jamaica in 1510. Are we right up to there? Columbus discovered Jamaica in 1494, 1498, and in 1510, Spanish invaded Jamaica. And, you know, a lot of Tainos were killed and some ran away. So, Spanish started importing slaves from West Africa to work on their farms, the sugar farms and plantation, all of that. In 1655, British community came to Jamaica, and there was a war between British and Spanish, and a lot of slaves that were Spanish slaves ran away. Through the war, they ran away to the interior hills of Jamaica. So the slaves who ran away, the black slaves who ran away, are the one who formed a community called Maroons. But let's understand this. Maroons is made of Africans, the slave Africans, and the Tainos who ran away after Spanish came to Jamaica. So when the British came in Jamaica in 1655, there was a war, and some slaves ran away to the interior sides of Jamaica, to the hills, and that's what they formed a community called Maroon. There was a windward Maroon to the east and a leeward Maroon to the west. So creation of Maroon started there, Maroon community. The British, it was hard for them to capture them and bring them back because they ran away to the mountainous side of Jamaica. So when the British came, they continued bringing in the slave. But time to time, there was this rupture of slavery, you know, the fights here and there. And a lot of them too ran away and joined the Maroon community to the mountains. When a lot of slaves were running away, the Maroon increased, you know, they increased the numbers, and they became more. So as the Maroon increased in numbers, of course it became a threat to the government, to that government. So the British decided to defeat the Maroons again. So they launched because the Maroon were becoming a threat, so they decided to fight the Maroons. That's where it was the birth of the first Maroon War. I think the first Maroon War between the Maroon community and the British government. So the first Maroon War started in 1728. Yeah, the first Maroon War, I think, started in 1728. And the Maroon, man, the community are more of the vigorous community because most of them came from the Ashanti community. They were freedom fighters here in Africa. They were sold to slavery. So they had they knew how to fight, and the guerrilla war, they were good into it. So they fought the British, and the war was so hard for the British to defeat them. So in 1739, British decided to make peace with the Maroons to end the war, the first Maroon War.
The one about Maroon law is actually after we signed the peace treaty and all of that, and we got the rights. Yeah, so that's the law it's all about.
Victory song.
The victory. Yeah, so it says Maroon law already.
They made peace, the treaty with Maroon and the British. They were given their land, and the Maroon were to govern themselves. In return, Maroon was to help the Jamaican government to, from the external attacks, from the foreign invasion. So the Maroon had to work with the Jamaican government to prevent invasion from the foreigners. And two, the Maroons were to help the Jamaican government to capture the slaves who were running away from the plantations. So, the Maroons, they ran away, but they were to help the Jamaican British to capture the slaves who were running away from the plantations. But in return, they were given their land and they were governing themselves. I think until up to now, the Maroons are still on their land. So many years passed and there were peace between the Maroon and the British in Jamaica. But when the new government, I think the British governor came in, he decided to deal with, there were some things or some misunderstanding between them and the Maroons. So he decided to rectify it by capturing few Maroons leaders in the town called Trelawney Town, Yeah, there were Maroon community in a Trelawney Town. I think they had a misunderstanding with the government, and the new government decided to capture their leaders. And this made started a second Maroon War, which was in 1795. So when the second Maroon War started, the Maroon were undefeated. Of course, they know about the war. So the government the government decided to make a peace to them, but it was a lie, it was a fake peace, a fake treaty. So when they came together and accepted to make peace together, the Maroons were captured. And when they were captured, they were sent to Nova Scotia, and later they were sent to Africa in Sierra Leone. From Jamaica to Nova Scotia, and they were taken to Africa in Sierra Leone. I think that's why Sierra Leone is called Freetown, okay? After the Maroons were taken to Sierra Leone, in 1831, around 224 Maroons presented a petition to British government, and they wanted to return back to Jamaica. And the British government accepted and said that there will be no obstacle for them going back to Jamaica. Now, in 1839, the first Maroons from Sierra Leone went back to Jamaica. This being Mary Brown and her family. They sold their items in Sierra Leone and sailed back to Jamaica. You may know how Jamaica was very special to them and was a very beautiful country. That's why they went back to Jamaica, even after fighting the British there, and they just decided to went back to Jamaica. So Mary Brown and her family, the daughter and the son-in-law, went back to Jamaica. In 1841, Mary Brown was joined by other two Sierra Leone Maroons, Mary Ricketts and her daughter. Now, when they went back to Jamaica, they found their way back to the Trelawney Town, which now it's called Maroon Town. I think so, Maroon Town. So in 1841, there was a ship from Jamaica came to Sierra Leone to look for workers, and a lot of Maroons were desperate to leave Sierra Leone. I don't know why they wanted to leave Sierra Leone that bad to go back to Jamaica, where there was being worked there. So the Maroons who were desperate to leave Sierra Leone, they went back to Jamaica. The Maroons who were living in Sierra Leone were living in a town they called Freetown. Now that's the town I was looking for, Freetown, the town in Sierra Leone where the slaves were freed there. So in today, the Maroons are existed in Akopong Town, Moretown, Charlestown, and Scots Hall. These Maroons up to now, I've told you they hold the land they were given to them during the peace treaty by the British from 1739, 1740, and up to now they are practicing their traditional, their cultural, their their unique dances. Yeah, for example, the Maroon culture, the Maroon settlement is called Asofo. Asofo is from Akan word called Asafo, which means assembly or church or society. That's who is from the West African community. So I think the Akopong Maroon, they hold their annual, I think, celebration every 6th of January to celebrate their, their freedom, sing their songs, this song. Yeah, dancing, So when you are learning about Maroon, you have to know this thing. There is Leeward Maroons. I told you Leeward Maroons from the west, I think, and Windward Maroons on the east. Now, Leeward Maroons in Cujo town, known as a tree-lonely town, ruled by Cujo. They secured recognition from the British on the First World War in 1728 to 1740. Most of the Trillon Maroons, those are the ones who are captured to Nova Scotia and taken back to Sierra Leone. But as I've told you in 1840s, a lot of Trillon town Maroons came back to Jamaica from Sierra Leone and established their community in the Trillon town. There is again Maroon town, Jamaica. Maroon town came after the deportation of Trillon town Maroons. The British took control of the Trillon town and built a barrack there. There were no Maroons there, so they named the town, I think, the Maroon town. So Akopong was the main settlement of Leeward Maroons, ruled by Akopong, after whom the town was named Akopong. Now there is Windward Maroon. Windward Maroon, they were led by Queen Nanny, and they were found in Nanny town. I think the town was named after the Queen Nanny, located in the Blue Mountains in Jamaica. Then there is Moretown, Crowley town. These were towns where Windward Maroons were found. Sierra Leone became the settlement of Maroon who came from Jamaica and settled in Freetown, So after a lot of Maroons went back to Sierra Leone, I think the Maroons in Sierra Leone came to decrease, they came down to numbers. But I think up to now, people are saying that the Maroon community, they are forgotten, but I think up to now, they have held their land, and from 1739 up to now, there is still the community in Akopong, and in every 6th of January, they celebrate their freedom. So I think that is the story of Maroon, that in every time you are talking about Jamaica origin, you can never cease to mention Maroon. Maroon are the people or the escaped slavery, who escaped from slavery when the British invaded Jamaica in 1655, and there was a war between between British and Spanish. So the Maroons consist of few Tainos and the African slavery from the West Africa. Now, in summary is that when they escaped, the slaves escaped, they went to the mountains, interior side of Jamaica. There were those who went to the east, which are called Windward Maroons, and there were those who went to the west, which were called Leeward Maroons. There was first Maroon War in 1739, and there was a second Maroon War too. But all of them, they made a peace together, and that's why the Maroon community, up to now, they are still holding their culture. Up to now, they are still practicing their culture. And I think that's all you need to know of Maroon. I know there's a lot of things I've left behind, but brush up here and there. Let's do research, let's read, and we will understand all these things. But Why have I given this Maroon and Jamaican history? Because, you know, we need to know about the black history, our forefathers from the black. When we talk about Africa, we are talking about Africa is a huge, not only those who are in Africa. We have those in Jamaica, in Caribbean, we have those in Black Americans, all have the roots of Africa. There are those who are sold as slavery, our forefathers, and their children are there now. So when we talk about Africa, in my videos, I talk about Africa, Uganda, Nigeria, Ghana, South Sudan, but I'll never cease to talk about those Africans or those blacks who are out of Africa due to slavery. I am the Kenyan Beast. Come with me, let's do it the African way. Until next time.